You're posting consistently, right? You've got a content calendar and a plan, maybe a team, and yet the premium clients aren't showing up. So, what do you do? What you need to do is what any smart business owner does. You might try to post more. Maybe you try to post to more platforms or trying more formats and increasing your posting frequency. Yikes. But guess what? Volume was never the variable. But what was? The businesses pulling six-figure clients from social media aren't posting more. If you needed to hear this, let me repeat that. The businesses pulling six-figure clients from social media aren't posting more than you. They're operating differently than you with a connected ecosystem where every piece of content, every ad dollar, and every relationship feeds the same pipeline. Today, my guest and I will be talking about that ecosystem and how a small team builds it without a big budget. This is Strategy Talks. We'll be right back.
Let's strategize together. Let's hear it from an expert. Join the conversation, it's informative and free. You and me, let's talk some strategy. Now here's your host, Dorien Morin-van.
Hello, everybody. It's Tuesday. It's another day for Strategy Talks. I'm so excited to be live with you here, noon Eastern time, with my guest. Before I introduce her to all of you, I want to welcome you. If you're here live, maybe you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, and you're watching this live. Just remember, we're live too. So if you have questions, ask them in the comments and hopefully we'll see them and be able to answer them. For those of you who watch this on the replay, as always in a replay, if you want to tag myself or my guest, that way we see your questions that you have. And last but not least, lots of you listen to Strategy Talks as a podcast and want to make sure that you know we value you and you are welcomed here as well. So today we're going to talk about small team, visibility, bigger clients. What are we doing wrong? So I'm going to introduce you to Ginna. Ginna, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so Ginna Tessanelli. Oh my God, I just practiced.
I know it's a mouthful.
It's so good. I know, I did it. Ginna and I were talking in the green room, and it seems that she and I, even though we have only, which is very few, like 14 mutual friends on LinkedIn, we really do a very similar job for our clients, which is super interesting because, I love talking about what I do, and you love talking about what you do. And we started talking, and it's like, oh my gosh,
we do the same thing.
We do the same thing. So today we're going to say stop posting, start building a content pipeline. We don't really mean for all of you to stop posting, obviously.
Right.
In previous strategy talks, I've talked to people who help their clients through bottlenecks. Like they have all these ideas, but they can't post, or clients through the posting the wrong thing. Mm-hmm. We're beyond that. Talking to Ginna and myself today, you need to be beyond that, right? So you're already posting. You're already trying with your visibility, but what you're posting isn't landing, isn't sticking, isn't converting. So that's the piece what we're going to talk about. And this is the ecosystem that we're building. And so the first thing that we have in common is that we both go live every week, which is crazy because I don't know really anybody else, Ginna, that goes live every week like I do. So tell me a little bit about where you go live and how you do that and why you do it.
Okay. I'll start with why I do it because right now this just happened. So while I was in the green room, I'm a little bit out of breath because I had to run downstairs and grab my dog. It's lightning and thundering right now. Dorien, like right when you and I stopped chatting, it happened. So anyways, but that is one of the reasons why I love live video is because it's organic, it's raw, it's real. People can get to know me, can get to know you, can get to know each other much faster than any other piece of content online out there. So, definitely fast tracks that point of creating an experience so people get to know, like, and trust you, but also moving and activating your audience into actual paid clients.
Right.
I personally, when I started going live, and it was like around 2017 or so, I would go live on my personal profile on Facebook, which to me was like the most nerve-wracking thing, because I'm speaking to people that I already know. So of course, I'm thinking, what if they laugh at me? What if I say something wrong? And I will tell you, for the first probably like few dozen live videos, I was constantly sweating under my arms. And but that's how I started. So I actually came into contact with one of my past business coaches, and she was going live all the time. And I'm like, okay, I need to try this, because I know this is going to help me really stand out, especially now. So, and this is back, in 2017.
Right. So yeah, I want to bring in that piece, because this show has been going 4.5 years. And previous to that, we were talking in the green room. I was doing live for a client in a private group for over 4 years. So I've been doing this almost as long as you have. But the reason that this year, 2026, every single episode is live because of AI. There's now, you can clone yourself. You can have an AI podcast. You can create even a video with yourself talking about a subject, but you can't recreate live and having, to run out and take care of your dog if it's scared. I have dogs too. Or having somebody knock on the door or peek their head around the corner, or, oops, you didn't mean to tell that real story, but you did, and people are connecting to you. So that's why I'm sticking with live. I did some of these pre-recorded last year because of time zone issues. Last year's Strategy Talks was all about international experts. So I had people from 30 something different countries on, which was really fun.
That's
but
really cool.
Time zone was a nightmare. So I couldn't do a lot of them live. So this year I've recommitted to every single episode is live. So when you see this and you see us, we're live, we're talking. We're talking. So I love that. I love that. And so you now go live every week in your private group. Correct?
I do. I go live now in a private group. And once in a while, I will go live over on my personal profile on Facebook and on LinkedIn simultaneously. But religiously every single week for the last, I would say 3 years or so, has been in that private Facebook group. Prior to that, it was religiously every single week on my personal profile over on Facebook. And then once in a while, I would link LinkedIn to it.
Let me give a little bit of background on why personal profile and LinkedIn, because this also gets streamed there. For those of you who don't know, and I know, Ginna, you probably know this, is that it's not about who you're connected with. It's about their connections, right? By you going live on a Facebook profile to people that know you and love you. A lot of my friends, they know I'm doing something in social media, but they don't really know what I do. But by going live every single week, it gets reiterated to them that I am the expert. And so I had a 10-year lead from, come to fruition from my Facebook Live. Somebody who I'd met 10 years prior, started watching them, and finally said, I need some help. You're the expert. You're the only one that I see every week talk about my problem. Yeah. And so I got hired because she actually watched it. But I've also had a neighbor say to me, oh, I gave your name to somebody because they asked, who do I know who does social media? And you're the only one I know. I see you live every week. So it's that consistency of being there. And if you're doing live streaming and you've never done it to your personal profile, I highly recommend doing that, because both Ginna and I know that it produces results.
100%. I mean, I've had the same experiences. In fact, I can name 3 high ticket retainer clients that never watched one of my videos, but someone either on their team or in their network was watching my videos and referred me.
Okay.
It happens all the time.
All right. So
Um,
now we've established live video is great. Now
Yeah.
we're going to talk about an ecosystem because again, we were in the green room and we're like, oh my gosh, how have we not met before? Right? Because we do similar things. But what you do and what you teach your clients and what you work on with your clients is something that I do the same thing, but I also both of us are doing it for ourselves. Like you don't tell a client to do something that you're not willing to do. So we start with a long form piece of content, which is usually a video. Sometimes for my clients, it's a podcast. Every once in a while, I get a client who their YouTube video is their long form piece of content. But most of the time, it's a video like this, a live or a webinar. And then what do we do? Because your system is similar to my system, but I'm going to let you explain why that's so good and what can be done and how do you train people?
Yeah. So I want to give just a little important detail that I think will help people understand why it's so valuable to create an ecosystem like this in your business. There is something called the 7-11-4 visibility rule. And this is, Google came out with a study they did a couple of years ago. Now, I have a background in media buying and planning from when I was in corporate for 10 years. So I've always understood frequency is really important, right? Being in front of people over and over again, but also the amount of time that they spend with you. And so why implementing long form content like video and then doing what I'm going to tell you in just a few minutes with it is so important is because it has this compounding effect. So the 7-11-4 rule is your audience, those dream clients in your audience, they need to consume a minimum of 7 hours of your content plus have a minimum of 11 direct touch points with you. That does not mean like they scrolled, they saw you for a second and they scrolled. No, that means like you messaged them, they responded to an email. Those are actual touch points. Maybe they commented and you're having a back and forth conversation. And then the third number 4 is they need to have access to you on 4 platforms, not 4 social media platforms, 4 platforms, which could include email marketing, social media, your blog, podcasts, right? In-person networking events. Those are all platforms. So with long form video, our favorite live video, the way that we build that 7-11-4 visibility rule and it compounds is we take that long form video, we use the transcription of it, and we create email marketing campaigns out of it. We create social media posts out of it, but we can also take clips of that video to create short form videos, the audio for podcasts as well. And I mean, I can go on and on. You could do trainings, you can create, package it into like mini courses. There's like so many different ways to use that, but that is really working smarter, not harder. Your message stays cohesive and you're not having to recreate content every single day. It's already created. Like this for you, Dorien, is already created, right? For the next in however many ways you want to use it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I have a semi-automated system set up, but I mean, the first thing I do is pull the, upload the video, pull this transcript. The transcript goes, the podcast is going to be live in 2 days from today's Tuesday at noon. It'll go live at 10:30 on Thursday. That's going to take me 5 minutes, 10 minutes, make sure everything is lined up right. That's going to be scheduled. And then I'm going to pull the transcript again and start creating a blog. And then there's clips. And so, yes, I mean, that is my whole strategy content for myself. And there's a lot of content out there. And then of course I get to highlight people like you who are experts who that shows off my expertise. Right. So today just happens to be somebody, and I don't get that very often, that does a very similar thing that I do. So now it's like I'm geeking out. This is so cool. Absolutely love it. And I love that we're live talking about this too, because I think that makes it even better.
Yeah.
So that's great. Now you also say that is part of it, right? So that's the ecosystem. This is the organic content.
Yeah.
Talk about adding maybe low budget advertising and then, working together, maybe a little bit of PR or networking. How do these pieces fit into, is the organic content, is that the fundamentals? Is that
I would say 100%. Yeah, absolutely. Because, people are going to go snoop on you and see, what you're all about. And if they can't really tell, especially in the first few seconds of landing on one of your profiles, it's going to be really difficult for them to really feel certain that you are that person that you claim to be. So we amplify it with paid traffic. And, people think, oh, if I run meta ads, for example, like I need to dump lots of budget and I'm going to sell right away. And no, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about amplifying, allowing your organic content to reach more of the right people and to really build this warm audience of people. That way, when they do come into your pipeline, whether it's through conversations in DMs or they click on a link for something and now they're in your email, now they already know who you are and you get them closer to the point of, making a decision about something that you're offering. So we love to help our clients run paid traffic, specifically on Meta, to organic content that they're already posting. And then we use that content and we add some dollars to it. We, now with Andromeda, it's so much easier to target the right people as well. And then from there, it just kind of snowballs. It has a snowball effect for them. And you create warm audiences that you can retarget to actual offers, things like that. But you don't have to spend a lot. I'm talking about like $5 a day is a great start.
Yeah.
So that's that piece. And then, part of this ecosystem, because it starts with your positioning, then with the marketing and visibility, but then you need lead generation, right? Mm-hmm. So the idea is to use your content to activate your audience and start conversations with them. So, we have clients that do a lot of conversations with potential clients through DMs. We also have clients that will lead their audience to a call. So it could look differently for many different businesses, just depends on your goals. But that's the idea, is that content is meant to create conversations and move those people to a lead and then a prospect. And then, of course, you have your whole sales process after that. So that's the entire ecosystem.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I want to make a note. Those of you who know me know that I'm really a big proponent of organic social. But one of the reasons that organic and paid work so well together is that organic is a testing ground for paid. So when you start saying, put some money behind your organic posts, of course, you're going to put it behind the organic posts that are already doing well, that are already, if you're testing new things or new words, new copy, new images, new anything, you can see, hey, this really resonated with my audience, my current audience. Let's amplify it to draw in more organic traffic. So I love that you said that, because that's, when I start with a client and they want to put in that, an ad campaign, I always ask, well, what are you trying to accomplish? If it's literally selling something, you can do your own thing. Right. But if you want to amplify the organic, then yes, please come talk to me and I'll tell you what's working best. And let's, use that as a start to the next campaign. So I love that you mentioned that.
Yeah, absolutely. And, one thing when it comes to our paid traffic clients, if they do not have organic happening, we actually will not take on that client. Mm-hmm. So, most of our clients, we're handling both their organic and paid, but some have teams, which we talked about, and they're like, no, we've got the organic, but it's in our contract. Like, the organic has to be updated at least a few times a week. They need to be putting out organic content. If not, I just know from all this,
it's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, I have, of course, my own clients, but I've also since 2015 worked for different agencies. Sometimes it's a paid ad agency or a website agency. I've worked with an SEO agency. So I outsource my services because that's often the missing piece is the organic. And so I come in and they're like, we're doing all this paid, but we need an organic specialist. So I love it. We're really doing similar stuff. So I want to kind of go to the premium clients where you talked about, right? You said premium clients don't find you through volume. They find you through specificity, right? What's specifically has to be true in your content
Mhm.
for a high ticket buyer to say, this is the person I need. Now, I know you use the 7-11-4 framework.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you could share with us that would explain that to us, like how that works?
So for me, it's the visibility and making sure that your visibility is positioned in a way that allows these high ticket premium clients to feel certain that you are the person that they should hire, right? So if it's done through my content, I'm going to be speaking directly to the things that they are looking for. They're not looking for, deals. They're not looking for fast action bonuses. They're not looking for freebies. They are looking for that feeling of certainty. And that's why, honestly, video for me is like the number one way to show that. When it comes to the 7-11-4 visibility rule, I will create, so from my videos, I still do other long form content. So articles, LinkedIn articles work really well, Substack as well. And then it's just really making sure that you are touching on those things that those types of clients are looking for. So I'll do a lot of back-end research. I go on Reddit. I also, I will audit people's accounts on my own. And if I see them, like, for example, on LinkedIn, sometimes there's people that will type in a post, like looking for a marketing agency, right? It's not going to be a job post. It's going to be just in their content. So one of the things that I do is I will actually do a mini audit of their account before I reach out to them. And then I have, valuable information that they care about that's going to show them, okay, she knows what she's talking about. So it's a mixture of a lot of different things, but the idea is that you are bringing value to the table, and you are, you're creating that connection where they feel certain that, okay, this person knows what she's talking about or he's talking about. And, let's get on the call. Let's see if it's going to be.
I have two follow-up questions for you right there, because a couple of things resonated with me. One is that, every single client of yours is going to have this live component or this video component, long form content.
Yes.
And so do you get pushback on that? Do you not take on a client if they're like, we're not doing video? One. And second, I have a very similar ICP. And what I have found is that oftentimes, for what I have found, is that the women say yes to the video, but then back out, while the men are like, they just go ahead and just tell me what to do and I'm doing it. Is that kind of what you found?
You're so right. So, I do get a little, so the live piece is like what people are more standoffish about, but we do a little bit of coaching. So we do guide our clients, right? So I do one-on-one sessions with them. And I have another colleague that helps me with that. But it definitely is more the women that are like, I need to get my hair done. My roots are showing, this or that. Whereas our male clients, I send them, I could send them 3 scripts. They'll get them done today.
Yeah.
Live or recorded.
Yeah.
Now, so like I said, the live piece is a little harder for people to say yes, but again, it takes practice like anything else. And then I also tell them, I guarantee that if you try to record this, it's going to take you 3 times or 10 times the amount of time to get this out there than just going live.
That is the secret sauce. When I talk to people about my show, and I've done talks about it, I've, workshops, I'm like, the secret is the live component, because if I send out 20 invitations at a time, I might book 12 guests ahead, now I'm like 3 months out. That's my commitment right there, right? I've got everybody booked. I have to show up every week. Then really, now with AI in the picture, AI does a lot of the research, does a lot of the questioning, does the layup for me. I have to show up. My minimal investment is about 45 minutes a week just to get this video done. A 30-minute video that you and I are talking from start to finish is going to be 45 minutes. Yes, of course, I talked to you through email and had to set up the StreamYard link, but the actual talk is 45 minutes and we have 30 minutes of video to show for it. And that's huge. And so, yeah, I totally get what you're saying is that. And then with, as far as the females, yeah, I mean, I have tried very hard. They are experts, like experts, high level, PhD level. They have expertise, and that insecurity of not thinking either they're good enough or that they need to look a certain way has definitely been some stumbling blocks. So one of the ways that I sometimes go through that is like you, I do coaching, but I also say, well, let's just you and I go to Zoom and record something.
Yeah.
I'll show you how easy it is. And then the other thing I say, just find somebody to do it with. If you have a co-host or you have a guest, it's much easier because then it's a one-on-one conversation where 100 or 1,000 people are watching. You're just focused on the one person you're talking to. And that's a lot easier than when you have to go live by yourself.
It is. I mean, you're staring at the camera, right? And you're staring at yourself. So, and there's little fun tricks that you can do. I used to, in the beginning, I love dancing. So I would like dance around my room by myself, right? Or put a picture of someone right next to my camera so it felt like I was speaking to that person. So there's different like mind tricks that you can do. But, I personally have been on a mission to help as many female experts show up online in this way as possible and really unmute themselves. Especially now in the world that we live in this marketplace, people are, really wanting this connection online, and going live, as you know, is the fastest way to build that with them.
Yeah. Can you believe we're almost at the end? I have one question for you.
Okay.
That I think will really help. There's a couple of people here with us live. So someone's listening right now. Somebody's listening to this podcast, watching this live as we're recording, and they've been posting consistently for a year, just like all the experts tell them to do. Be consistent, and getting likes, but no leads. The first thing that you would look at, you saying you were doing an audit, what would you look at? And can you give them a little bit of reinsurance that just with some tweaks, maybe it will work?
Yeah. So, okay. I would think about the words that are in that content. Like, are you using activation words, right? Use storytelling. So posting more content doesn't mean that you're going to activate people at all. It's what you're saying and how you're connecting with them. And are you saying it in like a natural way, or are you just like being very promotional all the time? People love stories, sharing experiences, things like that. So if you're looking for comments, you have to, number one, create that feeling. It's an emotional connection in what they're reading or what they're watching or hearing. But also, you also need to end, or you can even start with a call to action. So you've got to like literally hold their hand as to what is the next thing that you want them to do. It could be something as simple as, if you found this helpful, say thank you below, right? As simple as that. So, without actually seeing their content, that would be one thing that I would definitely have them pay attention to is, am I using call to actions? Am I activating? Am I storytelling? Or am I just like promoting all of the time?
Yeah. And I would add to that, are you hiding behind those posts? Are you showing enough of yourself? There's a big difference between being personal and, sharing personal stuff and sharing private stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that once you find that understanding is like, you don't have to share private information about your family, but you can share personal stuff about what you did for the weekend, or that you're looking for a new job, or that you have a fantastic new client and you're so excited. Those are more personal things that you can share, and that builds that trust between you and your audience. But if you're only talking about your job, and if you really keep it, like you said, super promotional, it's hard to connect with people. It's people not gonna, like the post this week that did the best. I found a terrible Aldi ad that was just a generated image, and I only saw that it was bad because I couldn't read the words. They were so bad. It was definitely AI generated. So I posted it because I'm a huge Aldi fan.
Yeah.
But then people were like, look at the eyes. People just piled up. And so now we're having this little, community chat on LinkedIn about how much we love Aldi and how disappointed we are that these ads went, wrong. And yeah, so having, I'm not saying I'm an AI finder expert that I could spot AI. That was not what the post was about. It was about, hey guys, let's be real and let's, make sure we have humans in the loop. And people really resonated with it. So sometimes, even though you have the right idea for your content, you need that different angle, the different storytelling, and make it connected to you. Because literally, I'm one of the biggest Aldi fans. I love it. I shop there all the time.
That could be a new client for you, Dorien. Yeah. You should reach out to them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, maybe I did tag them, but yeah, I mean, the whole idea is though that Aldi is one of the. It's like, I've used it before in a talk. Have you ever heard, this is a funny case study, but have you heard of the red bag chicken from Aldi? Do you know Aldi at all? Okay, so Aldi is basically a German style grocery store that came over. I grew up in the Netherlands. So we had Aldi's in the Netherlands growing up in the 80s and 70s and 80s. And so when Aldi came here, I was like, oh, this is great. But the whole premise about Aldi is that it's really cheap because they only have one of everything. So you want mayonnaise, there's not 15 different kinds. There's one thing of mayonnaise, So you have to you have to like that kind of shopping, and you save a lot of money. Well, they have this dupe. They have a lot of dupes. They have red bag chicken that tastes like Chick-fil-A chicken. Now they can't say that, but it's red like Chick-fil-A. And so there is a Facebook group dedicated to this Aldi red bag chicken because people during pandemic, people couldn't find it. It was like out in a lot of the stores, and people would go in the group and go, I'm in Rutland, Vermont, and there's 5 bags. And then somebody would go, I'm in Pennsylvania, and it hasn't been here it's crazy. But that's the kind of conversation. So I know that Aldi has this, people either love it or hate it, but that's how you want to be with your brand. You don't have to, everybody doesn't have to like you. So if you're vanilla, everybody's going to be like, oh, kind of sort of like you because you're likable, but that doesn't give you those clients. You need to be strong about what you stand for, who you stand for, what you do. So anyway, now I've hijacked the conversation.
No, I love that. No, but it's true. Like you need to build community around your brand, which is you for most, right? When we're talking about experts and professional service providers. And the other thing is share your opinions and have conviction, right? Because for me, I think it's really important to show up as a leader. Followers follow leaders. You don't want to be the follower. You want to be the leader. And that's who you want to attract. Are the people that are going to come to you and see you as that leader.
Awesome. Well, we are past our time. Ginna, how can people connect with you? Where can they find you, and where do you want to steer them to? Because I think my audience wants to get to know you. I can't believe, like, after all these years of us doing things, it took you coming on Strategy Talks for us to connect on LinkedIn. And I'm very excited to continue that and, see what you're all about and your content and stuff. But where can people find you?
Yeah, so I'm on LinkedIn, Ginna Tassinelli. I'm over on Instagram, same thing. It's my first and last name. That's my handle. Over on Facebook. Facebook and LinkedIn are like my jam. That's my favorite place. Both of those places, my favorites to hang out, but any 3 of those. So definitely connect, friend me. I'll accept it. Let's chat.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for being with us today, Ginna. And thank you for all of those of you who were here live with us. We're listening to the replay and are, of course, always listening to the podcast. So we appreciate you. I'll be back next week with another episode of Strategy Talks. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.